It's not working.
La vida.
It's not.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Hasta me estropeas, rogando por favor, no me dejes solo en mi vida. Hasta me estropeas, rogando por favor, no me dejes solo en mi vida. Tus ojos prohibidos siempre me vuelven loco, una vez que los vea me quedo. Tus ojos prohibidos siempre me vuelven loco, una vez que los vea me quedo.
What's up? What's up, my Dominican Route family? What's going on, everybody? Hey, Nikki.
Hey, what's up, bro?
Nothing much. We had a fun day today, but it was busy. Sorry we're late, guys, but we had a wonderful time, right, Nikki?
We had a day. Oh my gosh. Today was one of the best days literally that I've had in this country, honestly.
Yeah. We was at the orphanage. We fed the kids homemade hamburgers. Dominga, you, and some of our other friends. We just had a wonderful time. Can y'all hear me pretty good? Is it an echo, Nikki? You can hear me all right?
No, I can hear you perfectly. And let me just say this really quickly. Guys, my name only has one K in it. So Pimp Boy Brooklyn, it's not your fault because people continuously put two
My
Ks.
fault. Nikki, it's my fault. Yes, it's my fault.
I love it when a man says that because that's great. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Hey, so you're going in and out a little bit, but anyway, it may be me. So anyway, we're gonna keep the party rolling. I'm so excited about today because I just want to give you guys my experience and what I have seen since I've been in the Dominican Republic with Haitians. And sorry, we did the thumbnail wrong. Haitian is spelled Haitians. So I forgot to put the I in there. So that's my fault. My fault. So Carl, what's going on, brother? Pimp Boy, what's going on? It's always good to see you guys. We're going to talk about an interesting topic. This is one of the interesting topics a lot of people like to stay away from, but I'm going to just jump into it. What I have noticed since I've been living in the Dominican Republic when it comes down to Haitians, I have never seen in 4 years, I have never seen a Haitian being abused or beaten by a Dominican police officer or treated bad or jumped on or ganged up on. I haven't seen it. I have seen them being loaded up in the paddy wagon gently, with respect. They might have some words back and forth, but I have never seen it where you hear these horror stories where they just beat the crap out of Haitians. And I haven't seen that. Not to say it does not happen. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is I have never seen it, and I pay attention. I watch when I'm passing by and they're loading up Haitians in paddy wagons and taking them back to Haiti. And they have the right to do that because we're in the Dominican Republic. If they don't have their paperwork correct, they actually can load them up and take them back to Haiti. Do we enforce that in the United States with Mexicans? No, we don't. But sometimes they do, but they don't enforce it like they do here in the Dominican Republic. And I hear a lot that since it's a presidential election time, they're starting to load up more and more Haitians because the presidents want to say, hey, look at me. I'm doing my job. I'm keeping the illegals out the country. So with that being said, I have never seen a Haitian being mistreated or abused by Dominican people. They're actually they talk to them normal from what I see. So anyway, that's my point of view. You want to say anything about that, Nikki?
You know what? It's so weird because like a lot of times I am more so surprised as an American to see that there is a lot of respect, you know, for Haitians that are here. And for me, because of what I had heard living in living in the US, I thought it was going to be like crazy and like whatever. One of the things that I make sure that I do, especially now, is with my my visa, not my visa, I'm sorry, my passport. I make sure that I have it with me because I just never know. And I don't want any problems. And again, it's not something that I've seen happen often where they're mistreating Haitians. Like today at the orphanage, and we'll get to that. So maybe I'm hopping ahead, but I think that there's a lot more. It's almost like how they say like, oh, there's so much racism in the US. And here I am, a Black person who has white family. And I know that they're my family because we've done the DNA and everything like that. It's like they love me for real. So it just depends. It's like circumstantial. It's subjective, basically, is what I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, I totally agree. You know what? Have you heard any horror stories, Nikki, ever about Dominicans treating Haitians bad?
Yes. Last week, a buddy of ours, a mutual buddy of ours, his name is, actually, maybe I should not mention his name, but he's a Black American guy who is from, I think, New York, and he was living here close by us. Again, I don't want to give too much information. And he got deported with the Haitians. And he was there in jail for 2 days. And he had his passport card. He didn't have the passport, like his actual passport. And but he's back again. He's like, that's not going to deter me from coming back to my favorite place. And I think he has a really nice residence, you know, and all of that. And Carl is correct. The darker you are, the more you have to be concerned. There's no doubt about that. I get asked all the time, are you Dominican or Haitian? All the time. No one hardly ever asks if I'm American. Because when they meet me, I'm already speaking Spanish. And they're just like, it's hard to tell with you.
Yes.
Spanish, you sound Dominican, but you're darker. So we don't know. And I'm like, I'm American, you know, hey guys. So yeah, but like I was saying, our friend got taken away and they took a cell phone, both of his cell phones, some of his money. And he was on a bus on the way to college. He goes to college here, like getting his bachelor's or his master's, I'm not too sure. So you really have to be careful. And that's why it's so important that for me coming here, I was like, my Spanish is on point. I'm not going to mess around with anybody. Y'all are not going to we're not doing that.
Now, I do see Haitians when I was in San Cristobal and when I was in certain areas in the Dominican Republic, in the country, I would see Haitians take off running. They would run down the street because they're illegal. I would see that, and the police would be chasing after him. I have seen that about 3 times, and they just take off running. And
I saw that in Susua.
Yes. So, and I've seen older Haitian guys take off running. I've seen young Haitian guys taking off running. So I've seen it. So, I
want to welcome in a fellow Haitian if I can.
Go ahead.
And we're gonna share this seat. I'm gonna scoot all the way to the.
Oh, before you welcome it, I want to say this before I forget. I'm gonna be going to one of my friend's house. He's Haitian, and his wife is going to cook a Haitian meal for us. That we planned that before my surgery, if you guys can remember, but I had to cancel it because I had to have my neck surgery.
Oh,
And
yes.
yeah, remember that. So now, for all the Dominicans that's mad on here, they said, "Don't be going, sit down, spending time with Haitian people, and you're not in Haiti." So hey, guess what? I'm gonna piss some Dominicans off because I love everybody. I love Dominican and Haitian people. And if you're a good person, you're a good person. If you're an asshole and you're just an asshole, that's fine. So guess what? This coming week we'll be having dinner with a Haitian family. Go ahead, Nikki. What you was about to say?
Welcome in our subscriber, Jay, who just happens to be Haitian.
Yeah, Jay, what's going on, man? Haitian, what's going on, brother?
I'll give you this much of the seat.
Hold on.
Actually,
Hey, what's going on? Go ahead. Where you from, Jay?
New Jersey.
Okay, so tell me about yourself. What brought you here to the DR, and are you 100% black, or what are you Cajun? Are you what are you, man? Talk to me.
So Haitian, first generation Haitian American, straight out of New Jersey, and reason I came here is because I was originally supposed to be here since COVID, but that didn't happen, and because it did not happen, it took some more time to, study the map and get my Spanish down back before I could even come out here.
And your Spanish is good. I heard you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. So, hey, chime in anytime you want to. But I have noticed the only thing I hear Dominican people talking about Haitians when they're just together. I don't see them bad mouthing Haitians. So, like the kids, they have a game called "You Smell Like Haitians." Tag you it, you're a Haitian. So when I was in San Cristobal, they would play, instead of playing "You're It," they would play "You Smell Like a Haitian."
Wow.
So
and it must smell delicious. Haitian food smells delicious.
And all the kids played the game tag "You're It, you're Haitian." So I would watch them in San Cristobal. They played that all the time. So but I've never seen it like the just disrespect like in their face. So hey, it is what it is. And hey, we have games we play, and people talk about certain things in front of other people, but when they go in front of that person, they don't talk about it. So I have noticed that a lot of Dominicans, they'll grab each other's shirt and say, "Oh, you smell like a Haitian," and then they say, "It's time for you to go take a shower. It's time for you to go take a bath." But white people do it in the United States. Black people talk about white people smelling like a puppy dog. They do it. Yeah, say it again.
Trailer trash.
Yeah, trailer trash. That's right. All of that stuff. So we do it in the United States, but I always thought that Dominicans I was always told that Dominicans go around beating on Haitians, and I've been here for 4 years, and I've never seen it, but it's just a amazing thing that they're treated good. And my friend, we go different places, and he's Haitian, and they don't treat him bad at all. Matter of fact, I've seen the Haitian and the Dominican team up on another Dominican guy and talk bad about him and make fun of him. So it happens, So I don't know. What's your input on that, Nikki?
Oh, I was just gonna say I want to hear his input on it, because for today, I have learned some new things and I've seen some things, and people are always very confused. Like I said, when I come around, it's like, what are you? Are you American? Are you Haitian? Are you Dominican? Are you African? Like, what is going on here? And especially, obviously, when I speak Spanish, it kind of throws it off too. Like, you know, we had our little situation today trying to take this little fella over to his hostel, and that was something. And I'm like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
Worst time ever.
I know, worst time ever for him. But I will say too, they thought that I was Dominican when I was, you know, coming in there and explaining like, hey, my buddy's here, blah, blah, blah. And also he speaks Spanish. And oh, I saw a nice little comment there, but I'll wait till you bring it up. Anyways.
Hey, status. Hey. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
So I was just like, oh, this is new. And you know, it was my first time going to the Zona Colonial. That was my first time going there. And I'm like, oh, I want to go back because it's so cool, but I want to walk around. I don't want to obviously drive there.
Right.
But all that I'm saying is it was, I don't know, it was different.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this. Somebody just said something about, Juan Soto said, in the U.S., Latino immigration gets profiled. U.S. ICE is no joke.
Yeah,
That is
That
is true because I've seen it firsthand,
Mm-hmm.
especially where I work at. They just ransacked every person that just didn't have papers, nor the correct type of papers to even continue to keep working. So, seeing it firsthand is like not.
Yeah.
One of my biggest things that I always see is that like it's easier for someone that doesn't know English, but if you only know strictly just Spanish, it's easy for them to get a job rather than someone who's Haitian. Now, if you're Haitian and you solely know Spanish as well, it's easier for you to get a job. But just always be mindful. They would never look at you nor treat you as one of their own.
Wow.
Gotcha.
Because for me, I'm the first, and my job wants to, promote me into a bigger role. But my objective wasn't to really be there that long, due to the fact that there's 6 Haitians that work there, and they all, look at me and they say like, "Hey, we need you to help us out because we don't want to be on the verge of losing our jobs because we don't know that much English, let alone Spanish." So,
hey, let me say this real quick. I didn't mean to cut you off, but hold that thought. Remember this: you have been off. You've been in the Dominican Republic for 4 hours. This is your first time here, right?
hell yeah,
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So let me say this: you are dark skinned, and I love my dark skinned people, but I have noticed that being dark skinned, you will get carded. The police will ask for your passport, or they will pull you over and just talk to you if you're walking down the street. So just be prepared for that, and don't take it personal. That's just part of being an American and being a dark-skinned American. I'm just being dark-skinned across the world. So just understand that. Don't let that upset you. So if it happens, and I hope it does not happen, but if it happens, just understand that's just I've never been pulled over because of I couldn't pass for a Haitian. So that's just how it works. So just understand it. Have you ever? Yeah. Have you heard that? Have you ever seen? I mean, you haven't seen. Go ahead.
I have. I've heard it. Especially being in the States. It's pretty much all. Not saying all that there is to being spoken about. Even to how like when they built the canal and whatnot. Now, I always tell people this. Because we have a divided country and whatnot, doesn't mean that we should hate each other.
Right.
I just look at it as it's stupid, it's hypocritical, and you see a Giancarlo walking down the street who looks exactly like me, and it's just like, Papi, no, I know black, I Dominican. It's like, but yet, let alone you cross over to the United States, they're gonna label you as a black person.
Right.
Doesn't matter if you speak Spanish or not, they're gonna label you as a black person. You can speak all the Spanish that you want in the world, but those white folks, excuse me, I know we're like black and whatnot, but
No.
they just bring
Yeah, no, that's true. They're gonna. Yeah, everybody's black. If your skin color is black, you're black. So yeah, I understand that. Hey, this is a good point right here. I already knew this, but Racine Keem says, guys, Dominicans, Haitians are enemies historically. Why USA hate Russians? I understand that. Manuel really broke it down to me. We really, as Americans, have to understand that in the Dominican Republic, they didn't have slavery like we had it. They did have slavery, but they didn't have it like where they were hanging people from trees and cutting your balls off in public and having picnics and hanging black people and hooking them up to cars and ripping their bodies apart, stealing their land. They didn't have all of that. So we have to understand as U.S. citizens and from America that their culture and their history is totally different from our history. They had Haitian and Dominican wars. They were fighting. They also had, we had wars we didn't fight the Dominicans, but we came in and invaded a couple times. But yeah, it's some bad blood amongst Dominicans and Haitians. I understand that. Just like it is with Russians and USA and Mexicans and USA. So we understand that. But and that's a great point. So don't be fooled. Don't think that we don't know that Dominicans and Haitians, they collided in the past. So, but that's a great point. I'm gonna get to some of these questions. Juan Carlos says, I need to see this live, but my internet is slow. Juan Carlos, shout out to you, brother. Carl, shout out to you, Carl Facts. Let me do some catching up. Buenos Espanol History Channel. Good, always good to see you. Let's see. Moody says, I am Haitian. I got family in Port-au-Prince. What part of Haiti is this young man's family from?
All right, so to answer that question, so my father, he's from Hatian. It's a part. It's in the south of Haiti. If for those who know Hatian, because it takes a while just to get from the capital to my dad. Like my dad's house is like about close to 3 hours of a drive, and the road is just as bad as over here. So, and then my mom, she's from Gonaïves. Gonaïves is it's a city. Like my dad was born in the countryside, like how Dominicans would say the campo. But my mom, she's like it's not too far off from the capital. So that's where she's from.
Gotcha. Cool. Okay, Kicks and Travel says, why doesn't Dominicans hate the Spanish if the Spanish were their colonizers? Well, I can try to answer that. I don't believe Dominicans, they don't believe that they were colonized. What I believe is they just had a transition from one era to another. Now we call it colonized, but they see it as, hey, Christopher Columbus came, he started a new country, he started all this new stuff for us. Look at how awesome we're Spanish. Look at our beautiful culture. And you know what? They have the right to do that. Like Manuel says, Coach, we don't have to listen and learn about African culture because we don't want to. And the same thing, Manuel also told me, he said, Coach, why nobody says you need to listen to uh, indigenous culture? That's what Manuel told me. He said, why nobody say, let's learn about all the indigenous history? And I said, you know what, Manuel, that's a good point. Manuel said, you never heard anybody say, let's learn about the indigenous history. Because in history, in the Dominican Republic, they pushed Spanish, Spain, the Spanish culture. So now, with that being said, even Trujillo, the president, he wanted everybody to be mostly light-skinned, and he wanted people to talk about the Spanish culture, nothing about African history. So they don't know. They don't have to. So when people always push me, Coach, you need to make Dominicans learn their African culture. No, I don't. I don't have to. And they don't have to learn their African culture. But if they want to, that's fine. But I will not force feed a Dominican to learn African history.
Hey, I think.
I know.
But to answer your question, Kicks and Travel, they do not believe that they were colonized. They believe that they started a whole nother beautiful world for us. So it is what it is. Yes, they did have Dominican people here. They had the Tainos here already. So anyway, there's your answer. Okay, Amber says you could say the same thing about Africans. We're born in Africa. Some don't get along with African Americans because they don't consider themselves real Africans. That's
true.
That's true. That's a great point, Amber. That's a great point. Yeah. That's HP. Shout out to you, man. Thanks for always being on the channel. That's through socialization, and it's that word. I can't say that word because I'll get tongue tied. Herbert, many of Herbert, have my brother dated any beautiful Dominican since he's been in the DR yet? He just got here 4 hours ago. We picked him up at the airport 4 hours ago. That's why we was running a little late. We was at the orphanage and all of that stuff. So we're going to be on this topic for 30 or 40 more minutes, guys, and we're going to have an open topic because I know a lot of people have a lot of different questions about what's going on. You guys know Rico and Troy and Hollywood, they tore it up last weekend. So shout out to them while I was out. And Nikki. Nikki, you did a great job last weekend also.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Are you able to hear them talking right now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
No.
Carl says, go ahead.
Can you hear them talking?
Yeah, I can. You're kind of in and out a little bit, but let me read these questions real quick, Nikki. Carl says, agree. Learning about the Taino culture is imperative. It is. It really is. Queen Status. She says, what do you think about American when Haitians arrive at the border to enter the huge groups while the borders are open, other than Eagle Pass? What is she talking about, Nikki?
I don't know. What do you think America will do when Haitians arrive at the border to enter in huge groups while the borders are open in other than Eagle Pass? Okay, can you explain what Eagle Pass is? I'm not aware of what that means, but my assumption is that what she's talking about is kind of how like the Mexicans have done this before, and other groups have entered the U.S. in that way. So my assumption is that is that what we're talking about here? Keep on with bring that up in the comments so that we understand what you're talking about. I'm not too sure. So Kicks and Travel says the thing that's crazy is that Trujillo has Haitian blood also. Kicks and Travels, you're absolutely correct. He, I believe, was a fourth Haitian because his grandfather was Haitian. And that just goes to show you it's a lot of how American history has been as well, where people don't want to admit that even they have a little bit of Black in them when they have more than just a little bit. I can say this even about my own self. When I tell people that I'm a fourth white, it's like, shut up, you're a liar, you don't even look it, this and this and that. My DNA doesn't lie.
Right.
So, and for me, I always say, of course, I pass as Black because I am Black and I'm proud to be that. I have no problem with that. But it's a tricky thing. But Trujillo, we do know that he also put the white powder on his face for the photos to appear more than he was. And the reality of all of what we're talking about, the bottom line is that the idea is that the closer that I am proximity-wise to being white, that shows how rich I am. Mm-hmm. And it's sad because we all know that nowadays none of that means anything. They call people white trash in America, right? And those are the same people who hang out with the Black kids in the ghetto. So we all know that the closeness to proximity does not equate to richness. However, Dominican Republic is still very far behind on many levels, and there's still a lot of ignorance here. And
they're stubborn. They're stubborn, and they're stuck in their ways. Also, Nikki. Hey, Nikki, can you read these next two? These ones that I have up.
Absolutely. So DMR says Eagle Pass in Texas. What we're asking when you're putting that, we're not sure as to what Eagle Pass is or what that means.
Right.
I'm assuming that there's something that had happened and that means something.
I'm thinking when they say pass, that means like they allow somebody to go through with no problem. That's the only thing.
I know passing for white is a thing.
Right.
But the eagle thing is throwing me off. So DMR, please explain what that means. We all want to know what that means. Now, Dr. H.P. Black, PhD, says epistemology.
The study of knowledge. Yeah.
It's the study of knowledge. How to come to know what we know. Oh, okay. That's cool. I've never heard of that. Didn't know anything about it. And I'll look more into that. Okay. The study of knowledge. Okay, cool.
Hey, Merck says, Coach, remember 2 years ago you did an episode with Darlene and you told her when you go to school the next day to try to get a Haitian, talk to a Haitian because Darlene told you she didn't have any. Yeah, and she never did come back and say, hey, Coach, I got a Haitian friend. She never did come back. So I never did push it. Yes, I remember that, Merck. I remember that.
That's a lot of pressure for a young person, too, because she doesn't know if it's going to go left. She doesn't know if her friends are going to be like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Right. One moment, guys, I want to say today, we right now have 37 viewers. This is somewhat of a high for us. This is great. Please keep sharing the channel and keep that up because this is awesome. That's good.
It's awesome. We love it. We love it. We love it. We love it. Keep that momentum going. And we're going to talk about all kinds of awesome topics. Sometimes we're going to have the crazies in here with Hollywood and Rico. Sometimes we're just going to be talking about this. We're just going to be talking about different things. So sometimes it's going to be crazy, stupid Rico and Hollywood. And sometimes we just going to keep it balanced and talk about real estate and all kinds of other stuff. So you get a handful over here. So anyway, all right. Merck says, what was the outcome of that? Because you never did tell us. Outcome of what? Oh, there's the outcome. Darlene never did come back with a Haitian friend. There's the outcome.
What happened to Queen status? Oh, she's next. Oh, no, do your thing. You're right. European Dominicans, says Ali E. European Dominicans are minority racial group run Dominican Republic politically and socioeconomically. and they use Dominican nationalism as a tool to keep poor Dominicans oppressed. The truth is the truth.
Right.
I don't see a lie there, unfortunately. That's true.
Yeah, and I noticed that, but I noticed that I just see all light-skinned Dominicans in the front of these real fancy restaurants, and I'm like, man, where are the dark-skinned Dominicans to greet us? And they're in the back cooking and all of that stuff. So it is what it is. But that's just not in the Dominican Republic. I have lived here for 4 years, and it's not just in the DR. It's in a lot of other countries. All the light-skinned people are up front. The dark skins are in the back. Hey, that's Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. You walk in there right now in Punta Cana, you ain't gonna see nothing but light-skinned Dominican, hazel eyes, Manuel looking greeters.
I'm gonna tell you what. Let me tell you something. What's a shame about that, you guys? I'm gonna be very transparent and say to you, I was a cocktail waitress when I was 19, 20, and 21 years old at a strip club, right? Mm-hmm. As a cocktail waitress, what I learned is that men, no matter if they're black, white, Asian, Hispanic, everyone has their type. It taught me a very beautiful thing.
Yes.
So when you think that you can try to say, oh, everyone wants this, that's not true.
No, that's not true. That's not.
It's not. The black guys would come in looking for the white girls with big boobs, didn't necessarily care about their butts. Then you would have the white guys that would come in looking for Barbie dolls, little black Barbie dolls. Didn't matter if they were light skin, dark skin, tall, short. They wanted little skinny black Barbie dolls. So I said all of that to say, no one can ever say, this is what we like. Right. As a black woman, as a human, I would never say, this is what we as black women like. I can never say that. So
let me say this, Nikki, and I'm going to comment on what you just said. And we might differentiate. First, let me say this super chat. John Baptiste, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Great topic, Coach. Thank you so much. Queen Status, shout out to you, sister, for all your help and everything you've done for the Dominican route. Eagle Pass is a border crossing in Texas for illegal immigrants turning to either America from Mexico. Okay. Thank you so much. I never did know that. Thank you so much.
Okay. Okay. Now we got it.
Okay. Carl says Texas is refusing to do so. 25 governments for 25 states supporting the government text-defying and Supreme Court and Biden administration. 700,000 truckers are heading to Texas to support. Awesome, Carl. I had no idea about that. Let me get to this next super chat real quick, and I need to say something about what you just said, Nikki. DMR is dealing with the migrant situation in Texas is nothing about what y'all are talking about. All right, 3CP, thank you so much for the $5 super chat, brother. Thank you so much. Brother or sister, that might be a sister also. So God bless you. Thank you so much. Do you speak Louisiana Creole? No, I don't, but my dad speaks Louisiana Creole. My dad is Creole and black, and my mom is 100% black and Indian. Well, not 100%, but she's black and Indian. So the Creole Cajun side, I used to hear my dad speaking Creole to his mom, but I never did pick it up. So anyway, I did go to the witch doctor a lot. I went to the witch doctor when I was sick. I had nosebleeds. I was always sick. So my parents and my grandmother on the Creole side would take me to the voodoo doctor to get treated. We call it the treater, but they would lay you on the table butt naked and rub all kinds of oils and candles and stuff on you. So anyway, that's a different story. Thank you so much for that super chat. I appreciate it. So Nikki, I do want to say this before I continue. Are you saying that black men, black, just in general, people want to see more dark-skinned people? Are you saying that?
Not at all. What I'm saying is that a lot of times, like for example, here, there's like so many like European guys, and when you see them, they're always with like women that are like my complexion and darker. And it's like, oh, it's almost like a fetish, I guess, for them too. So yeah, no, not at all. I'm just saying everyone likes different things. And like,
No, they do. But
yeah,
the majority
people have their kink and their little secrets and the things that they like. But for me, I just like when someone treats me correctly. I don't care if they're light skin, dark skin, white skin. I don't care about any of that.
So this is my second part of that question. Why, when we go to Boca Chica, why do we see so many white men with so many beautiful, dark-skinned women, like even blacker than you? Some of them be so black, you got to close your eyes and you can see them better. They be so black. They are black. Say, why is that?
I'm gonna smack your ass. Cause look, you have to throw on your little jab and shit. Okay, no. Stupid. You are so stupid. Anyway, I think for them it's definitely a fetish. I think they're like, I can come here and do this thing that's like naughty. Their family isn't there to see what they're doing, and they can just do what they want to do. And it's very much like a colonialized mindset, but now they don't have to kill anybody and they don't have to be like hiding or anything. You know what I mean? They can just do it as the way that they want to do it. You guys, we have so many comments in the comment section right now, and that is great. And I'm going to go up to see where we are next with the comments. Let's see. We're at 32 viewers right now. That's so awesome. And oh my goodness. Okay, hold on. Let's see here. Dr. H.P. Black, PhD, says it's an attempt to add the conversation about why certain cultures teach and push one aspect of their history while avoiding other aspects. Absolutely. And I think that we know that happens all over the world. Here I can't say here in the United States because I'm here in the Dominican Republic, but in the United States, as well as there in the ideal meal, I still got it wrong. Here in Dominican Republic, as well as there in the United States. That's very true.
Hey, guess what? We got Manuel getting ready to come up. He wants to comment on the Haitian and his opinion on certain things, because you're going to hear it directly from the horse's mouth. So Pretty Ricky is what they call him, but Manuel is getting ready to come up and kind of.
I love you so much, dude. I love you so much. Pretty Ricky, what to call him? Yeah.
That's right. I love. Okay, we'll get to some of these questions hopefully before Manuel comes up. Javon says, I wonder if any of you both see a dark-skinned Dominican and thought that was Haitian in the Dominican Republic.
Happens all the time. Happens all the time.
It happens all the time. Now I'm starting to see their forehead. The Haitians' foreheads are a little different. I'm noticing that their foreheads are a little different. Pull Jay up. Go get Jay right now. Go tell Jay to come up. Or is he in the shower?
Let me tell you something. I would love to bring him up. He has left to go over there with the Haitian across the hall to speak Creole.
Oh, wow. Look, he's blending right on in.
The Haitian lady who had asked me for 500 pesos yesterday, he went over there and gave her money so that she could go to the store to get some food to cook for him. John, we had a conversation before I got here. Now it seems that I'm going to have a whole nother conversation with him because and when I was on mute and you saw me doing all of this, you saw my face and I'm like,
yeah.
Because I'm going off. Like, what are you doing? Cut it out.
Hey, okay, so let me finish answering this question about the dark. That's funny, Nikki. That's so funny. Dark-skinned women, they have big butts. The Haitian women, I didn't mean to say dark-skinned women.
Yes, because I'm dark-skinned and my butt is like regular size.
I meant to say Haitian. Haitian women, you can tell, even a light-skinned Haitian woman, you can tell because their butt is larger than a.
So it does the pear thing, like.
Yeah, they got the BBL at birth. Yeah, so yeah, that's what I gotta say about that. Do Kicks and Travel, do they ask light skinned Haitians for paperwork? I hear echo. I hear echo.
That's got to be Manuel coming in, or no, Jay Takashi coming in, or Manuel. It's on one of their sides.
Manuel, what's up, brother?
Hey, what's up?
Oh, yeah,
You hear me?
yes.
How you doing?
Jay, what's going on, brother?
How y'all doing, man? The one day I get
Good,
a day
good.
off, I'm just chilling today, actually.
All
Hi,
right. Hey,
Manuel.
we have Manuel on for temporarily, so we're gonna let Manuel kind of take the floor. Hey, brother, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it.
Hey, how you doing? Go ahead.
Manuel, I just want to quickly say I've not hugged you yet. I'm not happy about it. I need a hug.
You need a hug?
Yeah.
Hey, brother, we were supposed to meet tomorrow. Tomorrow is a holiday here, but I was getting ready to go somewhere, and I was watching the live on TV, and I was like, "Oh, that's interesting," and I just wanted to help you. Maybe.
Okay. I have a question. I have a question for you, brother. And I'm gonna bring Carl up too, but everybody just stand on hold. And hey, Carl, shout out to you, brother. But okay, listen up. Have you ever known someone? Have you ever seen a Haitian get treated bad in the Dominican Republic, like beaten on or jumped on because they were Haitian?
Who are you asking? Are you asking me or him?
I'm at you. You're the only Dominican.
No, I've never seen a physical attack to a Haitian, but I've seen verbally discrimination. Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
when we're in a different country in the United States, we always hear stories like, man, the Dominicans treat Haitians so bad, and they be beating on them, and they hit them, and they choke them out, and they do this, and they. But I've never seen it. I'm not saying it doesn't happen.
I've never seen Haitians being treated like a physical fight just because they're Haitian, but I've seen verbally discrimination. Of course, I cannot say that it's the majority of Dominicans are like that, but it does happen.
Gotcha. Let me ask you this: what about what happens when a police officer does something bad to a Haitian person? Do they reprimand them?
I don't think so, because here's the thing: the majority of the Haitian people in the Dominican Republic, and that's the truth, are illegals, right? Immigrants. And when you are illegal somewhere with no papers, no nothing, you have rights. Of course, you have rights, but I don't think that our police officers will respect you the same way as a person that has valid papers. So now we have we always do, but immigration police doing what they do, and they always focus on Haitians. The majority of the cases are with Haitians because Haitians are the majority of the immigration that we have in the country, of course. According to the last census, supposedly we have like 2 or 3 million Haitians in the Dominican Republic. Probably more. I think it's more.
Okay, gotcha. Now, do you agree with what the president is doing as far as stepping it up a notch in the Dominican Republic, as far as moving more Haitians out? Do you agree with that?
Well, I've never been an immigrant in any country, so I've never been like an illegal immigrant outside of my country. I don't know the feeling of being illegal in another place. So that would be not fair for me to put in Haitian shoes, because I've never been in that situation. However, I think that Haiti and the Dominican Republic and any other country, just like the United States, they have the right to put limits. They need to control the immigration. Now, the way they do it, is not the right way. No, was not last year. 2 years ago, I saw a bunch of immigrants, including Haitians, trying to cross Texas, and there was a police officer in a horse. Do you see that? In a horse, wiping them with a rope. There are pictures, but of course, the media did not show that. The media they hide it from you guys from the U.S. and like it didn't happen. If that happens in the Dominican Republic, you know, right? That would have been like broadcasting everywhere around the world. And I saw the white Texans police officer on a horse, and that photo is like a representation of the slavery era, what he was doing, and nothing happened. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. That happened. I don't remember the exact year, but I think it was after the pandemic, if I'm not mistaken.
I remember that. I have one more question, and I'm gonna let Carl jump in and Jay, and this is my last question. If I stay in your country for 5 years, and a Haitian stays in your country for 5 years, and I don't have any paperwork, and I stay over my stay, do you see this? Isn't it the same to you, or is it different to you that I'm an American and I stayed for 5 years, and a Haitian stayed for 5 years, and he's here illegally? That's just my last question. I want to see what
No. It's not going to be the same. We have to go back to history. There's been a lot of misinformation, a lot of ignorance, also from Americans. You are very ignorant when it comes to our history. You know about your history. You know about yours. You probably think that everybody knows Martin Luther King. You probably think that everybody knows Malcolm X, and because you are so centralized in your own history, and everywhere you go, you want to bring up that black and white mindset that you have in the United States. This is the black country. We don't need a black community like you guys. We don't need a black university. We don't need what you went through just a couple of years ago, not too long ago, that you had transportation only for black people, transportation only for white people, university for black people, universities for white people. We didn't go through that. That's probably why we don't see the racism the same way you guys do. You're born with it. If you're following me, right? I don't. Yeah. Does that make sense? What I'm trying to tell you,
Carl? That makes sense to you, Carl? Yes.
Yeah. So you had
That makes sense to you, Carl. Also, you follow him?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
It's so crazy that you guys celebrate. When was Barack Obama the first period? What year was that? Help me remind that. 2000 what?
2008.
2008. Yes,
2008, right. So you celebrated because you had a black president. The first time you had one. We've been having black presidents forever, so we don't have to celebrate for that. So for you, it was a big celebration in 2008.
Hey, un segundito. We can't say that you had a black president, though. You can say that you had a browner president, right? Because
he was mixed.
Who was mixed?
He was mixed.
Obama,
he was mixed.
Obama is not black?
No.
Kenyan,
what I'm saying is that
and
when you said, oh, we had a black, whatever it was that you said, he was darker, I feel like, is what you mean when you say that. Am I correct?
Oh, okay. So help me. Okay, so I want to learn. Okay. So what's a black person in the United States?
No. What I'm saying is you said, repeat to me what you said.
Yeah, you celebrated when you had the first black president in the United States.
Not that part. You said, we had a black something.
In the Dominican Republic, we have had multiple black presidents.
Pause. Right.
Let me just tell you guys, you always talk about Trujillo. Before Trujillo, we had in history. Just FYI.
And I know that Trujillo, his grandfather was black.
Yeah, his great grandfather was black, of course, and Trujillo was a dick.
Right.
He was terrible, but I thought it was his grandfather, not as great. But pause for just a moment. What I'm saying is that the wording that you used was, we had a black
president.
Right. That's what you use. So what I'm saying is pause there is for me, I would imagine how I understand it, knowing the culture, is that you had a darker skinned.
Oh no. Let's. I will get into that. I will get into that.
I'm here
Yeah.
to
We have a
learn.
white president now, which is Luis Abinader, but before him we had Danilo Medina, which is his black, and we had Leonel Fernandez, which is also black. We use the word also moreno. When you see like a lighter skinned person, we call him moreno, but it's the same thing. Now, so it's so different that if I use the word Negro in the U.S., that's offensive. Yes or no?
If a white person says it.
Oh, if a white person says Negro, that's offensive.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If someone is, I mean, if you've been here for a while, I don't know if the two friends, are you in the Dominican Republic? You guys? I don't know your names.
They're in the United States.
Oh, no, I'm in the United
US.
States right now, currently.
So in the Dominican Republic, we use the word. My grandmother, her name was Negra. That was her name. And you see people whose nicknames are Negro or Negro. If you are Negro in the Dominican Republic and they can even call you Negro as a nickname. Hey, Negro or Moreno. They call him El Moreno. Now, let's go back to history for a little bit. Haitian independence was in 1804. Yes, 1804, right?
What you knowing?
And then we got our independence from Haiti in 1844. So this side of the island was dominated for Haiti for 22 years. We got our independence from Haiti. So exactly, I'm not trying to justify anything. Trujillo was a dick. Everybody hates Trujillo. My grandpa loved him because he was in the army with Trujillo. So they worship Trujillo. He's dead already. But
and not only that, the one good thing that Trujillo did, and we can't take that from him, he brought the economy up.
No. He did a lot of things. He built the country. He built the central bank. Everything you see today, all the institutions, he did that.
Right. But what I'm saying is that what I always know and what I always hear about is the fact that he built the economy. He brought the money up.
Yeah, the dollar and the peso, they were equals. A dollar was worth 1 peso back then. He built the country. He built it. I mean, central bank, all the institution, even the presidential palace that you see in Santo Domingo, he built it. He's the one who did it. He brought people from Spain to build like a castle. That's what he wanted, because that guy was a little crazy. Now, Christopher Columbus, he came here in 1412. And you were saying that, like, we love the guy. All right. When he came here, there was already a civilization in the Americas of indigenous people. But for some reason, you guys never mentioned that. It didn't happen. It didn't exist. Like, this land was the way. I'm sorry.
1 second. 1 second. No, I'm sorry. When we were taught in school, everybody on this panel, when we went to school, it showed Christopher Columbus and the Indians swapping bread and corn and sitting down.
That's a lie, man.
I know.
Yeah.
I know it was a lie. But they said when Christopher Columbus landed, it was some Indian people. We call them Indian people.
No, that's what he did also. He called them Indians. He called them as well Indians. In fact, the color of the skin of the Indians, he called them like Indians to differentiate them from the others. Now, he came to the Americas. He landed in the Bahamas. The Bahamas was called Guanahavis. That was the indigenous name for that, for the Bahamas. That's the first place he landed. Then he came down to the Dominican, to this island, which was like Hispaniola before, when there was not Haiti or Dominican Republic, and to Cuba. And he found Taínos, which is the culture that he found here. So he said, Christopher Columbus, he wanted to convince Queen Isabel that this was a profitable business. They didn't believe it. So he found religions and political system here of Taínos indigenous, not just here, I mean, everywhere. In Mexico, when you go to Mexico, and I've been in Guatemala, if you know what's Guatemala, I've been there, and everything you see is indigenous culture. You go to Mexico, anywhere in Central America, Bolivia, Peru, you see the way they dress, the way they look. He described them as short people, the ones in Central America. The Taínos were a little taller. And then there were, when he came down here, obviously they had guns, and these people, they had arrows. They were agricultures. That's the way Christopher Columbus described these people. So we're talking, this is the indigenous era. He hasn't brought yet the tons and tons of his slaves. So he's here with the 3 ships that he came in, doing what they do. They brought church, and then he had to go back to the Spanish crown to tell them, look, this is what we found. He brought indigenous slaves. This is what they got. Blah 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 blah. So when they saw that it was a profitable business, they started bringing Africans here, because, as you know, there was no illnesses and diseases here. They brought all that, gonorrhea, syphilis. These indigenous people that didn't know none of that, and that's we had rebellions here. The Taínos. The history recalls someone called Caonabo, was one of the rebels that fought against the Spanish people. So this is why you see that we have been impacted by multiple cultures, not just one. And this is why sometimes you want Dominicans and Cubans and Puerto Ricans to claim the African culture as the primary one and forget about the rest. So this area was all mixed up with indigenous Spanish people. When he brought the African Americans, there was already a civilization here going on with the indigenous and the Spanish.
Pause you for 1 second. He didn't bring African Americans when he brought the Africans.
What he brought?
American until he brought the
Africans. Sorry. Yeah. My bad. Africans.
Okay, I know.
Yeah. My bad.
No,
You're right. Yes.
Let me say
He brought the Africans. Yes.
By the way, side note,
You're right.
we're at 46 viewers.
You're right.
We're at 46 viewers right now. All my people, thank you for checking in. I just hit like 20 people up right now. Continue my way.
Yeah, so I'm sorry that it's taking me a little longer to explain, but we have to go back to summarize.
You're not wrong.
I want to say this. Manuel, you have taught me in 4 years, brother. I met you through Melvin. You have taught me that we are not the only people in the world, and that we have a different culture from you guys. So I appreciate that, because it has educated me tremendously. The only thing I want to say is that most people across the world, including the Dominican Republic, Africans are pushed to the side, the talking about the history of it.
Yeah.
So we have to separate and say, hey man, stop trying to push Dominicans to be Black and African, but we have to say, hey, it's okay for Africans, for Dominicans to learn about their African history. That's what the difference is, that I believe, because
I'll get into that. So where we were, so there was a lot going on here before African slavery came here. There was a lot going on. There was already rebellions. I actually have the names. If you see the names of our counties that we call provincias, Barahona, for example, Barahona is an indigenous name. San Juan, I'm telling John because he knows, he's been some places here. The majority of the names of our provinces, is that the correct word? Does that make sense? Province?
Yeah, it does.
Province.
Yeah, that would province, right? So that's the way the Dominican Republic is divided. And the majority of the names of those places are in Taínos, indigenous names that we managed to keep. So then with all the illnesses and rebellions that were happening here, and everybody was a slave from the Spanish crown, then they started to bring Africans. And then we passed from being indigenous, we were indigenous, and then we went indigenous mixed with Spanish, and then we were indigenous mixed with Spanish and African and indigenous all together. And and that's, you see here this mixed culture. Now, the indigenous people, they were agriculture. That's why you see here yuca. You like yuca. You said the other day that you like it, right? Yuca. So they found it here, and that's you see that part of our food tradition is like indigenous and African. Everywhere you look here, our food, our music is all African influence. Yes or no?
Yes,
That's
you're
what
exactly right.
that's
Yeah.
what you see. So then Haiti got their independence. Haitians got their independence. That they declared themselves the first. They got the independence from actually Napoleon. They did something
Right.
that was almost impossible to do, to beat Napoleon. So they declared as the first Negro country in the Americas. That was the end of slavery for Haiti right there. 1804. Then,
Hold on one second.
yeah.
They conquered the French. They beat them.
We got a Haitian here. We got a Haitian here.
Oh yes, my brother. How you doing?
You said from Napoleon? I'm not going to
No,
lie.
was no French.
Okay, now I got you.
Wasn't it French?
Yeah,
From France?
French.
Yes, and
Napoleon's not from France. He's from Canada.
Napoleon, he's Canadian.
He's Canadian. He's not French.
Oh, and the army he had it in Canada. The army he built in Canada.
The army that he built was transferred to the French.
To France.
I do remember clearly because he asked permission from the Frenchmen to join forces with them in order to take over the island. That's where the island was invaded by not only just the Spaniards, but it also got invaded by the Frenchmen.
Exactly.
Now, we can't necessarily sit here and say that Haiti invaded Dominican Republic.
I haven't got to that part yet.
Oh,
Yeah, I haven't got to the part yet.
Okay.
I'm in the part where Haiti, we're trying to summarize everything before we get to the point, the way we think, the way we think. I mean, why we think the way we think.
But it's one-sided. For the longest time ever. Listen, I've seen your videos. I've heard you speak about these things before. Everything is all one-sided. No one doesn't know the other half. You can't necessarily blame that it's the Haitians who invaded Haiti for the 6 years. What about the United States when they invaded Dominican Republic for 20 years?
For how long?
For 20 years.
When was that?
This was back in I think 18.
I don't think it was 20.
I'll go back.
I think it was 20.
Yeah,
It was
okay.
20 years.
And I'll tell you. But because my phone's dead right now again.
Well, I didn't know that. I know we were invaded by the United States in 1916. They stayed here for 8 years, and then we were invaded in 1965 by America twice. I didn't know anything previous that, but now you're teaching me.
If you have the total sum of that equals up to 20 years. Because
Yes,
but
when you say that the United States invaded the Dominican Republic for 20 years?
Yes, they were. Okay, the first time was the 8 years, and then the second time was the 12 years. There's a gap in the middle.
Oh, if you find the date, I'll be glad to Google it right now. I'm willing to learn. Yeah, if you find the dates.
I'll let you.
So go ahead and finish up with your story.
So
and
then, so you see the whole mixture that I was talking about, and then the church, Catholic Church, they started to say that every African culture and everything was paganism. They consider everything paganism, though they try to take away anything else that doesn't look like Catholic. They try to take that away. And you saw the Fiesta de Palo that I showed in the video before, the dugu, 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 dugu,
Yes,
dugu.
the drum.
We have that in here. That's African. But Christianity have been saying that this is paganism, and this is why you don't see it that much anymore in the Dominican Republic, but we still have it in some places. And I go to those parties and I love it. Exactly, that you demonic things like that. So to get to the reality now, when
most people said that Napoleon is French. So go ahead.
So Haiti was declared the first Negro republic. Then after that, we were for 22 years dominated by Haiti. Then we got our independence in 1844. and then our main patriot is Juan Pablo Duarte, and others that names that obviously you don't know. And this is why when you come here and you ask and you want people to think the way you do, but the reality is that we didn't go through the exact same thing that you did, because I think, I'm not sure, but when did United States ended slavery?
That was, man, shoot, I was cheating. I was cheating off of
17.
all of the girls in the.
1865, something like that.
I think it was.
It is,
Let
but
me-
you
let me
still
look.
had some slaves after the 1900. Did you had slave like cotton plantations with slaves after the 1900? No, in the
Oh
South.
yeah,
Yeah, like
yeah,
people who became sharecroppers.
yeah. In
Sharecroppers
Texas,
with the owners on
and
them.
it took a while because Texas was one of the states that they didn't let their slaves know that they were freed. So it went on for a while. Yeah.
Exactly.
What's,
So what they teach you in school here, obviously you have a lot of ignorance around here. What they teach you here is what I just told you. Indigenous, then Africans, Spanish, and all that. Now, it's not that Dominicans deny the way you say that they are Africans, but that what they feel when you ask the question, you want them to forget, to just be blinded with the indigenous, that indigenous also existed. And you see here 90% of the population is black or mixed. You have like probably 12% of the population is white, like white. So in the United States, it's the contrary. Black people is minority compared to the white population. Is that right or wrong?
it's more whites.
It started.
It's
It
more
started.
whites,
Well, it's
correct?
like that, but it's about to
Exactly.
shift.
Coach, can I jump in for a moment?
Yes,
Go
sir.
ahead, Rico.
Rico, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing, Manuel?
Yes.
Oh, we go.
And I love. I didn't want to jump in too fast because I know you guys were cooking. I just wanted to interject a couple of my thoughts. I told myself I was going to stay away from this stream because, again, I try to stay away from it because I know I have some strong opinions, but I don't want my opinions to be like everybody's opinions. So my opinions about the DR is what I will sit there and say is like most nations. The DR is a multicultural nation like most nations. So oftentimes people like the Dominican Republic is not a mixed nation. It's a nation of see here's for me historically. People don't even accept the fact that there are Asian Dominicans. They are Asian Dominicans,
Yes,
people who
yes, you're right.
ethnically identify as Asians, and they're Dominicans. They have the same naturalization process as America. So if I, as a Nigerian, go to the DR, go through the naturalization process, and become a Dominican citizen, I'm a Nigerian Dominican. The same as I'm a Nigerian American. 1000%. So ethnically, I can be 1000% Black and Dominican because where I say this is because sometimes and I'm gonna try to say this in the right way, not to offend anybody. Oftentimes, I find myself arguing with. Let me say this: there is a huge educated Dominican population, but there's a huge uneducated population. So when I sit there and tell them, like, look, you can be Asian, you can be white, you can be Black, you can be mixed race. And when I always tell people, I said, let me say, mixed race is not a race. It's multiple races. It means multi-race. So when someone says I'm mixed race, whether I'm mulatto, whether I'm mestizo, that doesn't mean you are a singular race. That means you are of more than one race. So if you are mulatto, you are white and Black. If you're mestizo, correct me if I'm wrong,
You're,
Manuel, I
you're
think
right.
that means
You're
you're
right.
indigenous
You're right.
and white. So again, it doesn't mean you're not you're not a particular race. It means you are of more than one race. And again, I always try to tell my Dominican people, I'm like, don't use that as a fallback to say you're not one thing. Say you're both things. Say you're both. Don't go, I'm not black. Say, hey, I'm black and white. If that's what you are. If you are mulatto, say, I am black and white. You know, it's not, oh, because when I always tell them, when they say, oh, I'm Dominican, I always tell them, I didn't ask you where you're from. I asked you what you are. Because when I ask you, when I say, I can say I'm African American, and they'll be like, I didn't ask you where you're from. I asked you what you are. You can say you're German. Okay,
Right.
that's where you're from. You can say you're Italian. That's where you're from. I ask you what you are. What do you self-identify? And I always tell people, I can identify as green. I can sit there and feel like I'm green, but it's not how I identify. It's how the world sees me. And that's the thing.
Rico, let me say this real quick.
Go ahead.
They don't have super DNA tests over here in
Yes,
the
they
Dominican.
do. Yes, they
No,
do.
let me finish. Let me finish. If we
Go
get
ahead.
DNA tests out of the packet, we can just do that shit
No,
all
we
the
don't.
time.
We pay for it.
But-
John, we
but
pay for it.
I
John,
know, but what I'm saying
you
is,
doing this knee-jerk shit. No, we don't have anything they do not have. The U.S. government does not give us DNA tests. We go out on out.
Manuel probably don't know exactly what his percentage
Excuse me.
is. So,
I don't know what my percentage is, John. I don't know what my percentage is.
go
It's
ahead, Carl.
2024. Go
I got
ahead.
one. Hey, I got one point I want to say. I agree with what Rico's saying there. Like, for instance, my fiance, like, she said that she's Dominican. She says she recognizes the mixture of her. She knows she's Morano or mulatto. She recognizes that. So it's like not all Dominicans don't just say the Dominican. All just don't say that they're, you know, one side or the other. Some do recognize that they are of a mixed race or mixed culture of people combined into one.
Right. Now, but Dominicans, I do agree that Dominicans push the African culture, the African race to the side because they were taught that. They were
No, but
taught that.
John, stop being an American, doing a knee-jerk reaction, offering up excuse. This is what I'm saying is we do this as foreigners. As foreigners, we project our bullshit on them. What I'm sitting there saying is this. I think in the last census, approximately 15% of the Dominican population identified as Afro-Dominican. They did not say that they were African. They acknowledged that they were probably more that more of their DNA, because I'll be honest, I looked at some Dominicans like, bruh, come on, knock it off. You could be from the motherland. They don't deny it. And because what I'm saying is, as the younger generation are waking up to starting to embrace their identity a little bit more authentically. And I understand historically Dominicans, and I'm not blaming them. I know it's the government. So I always tell Dominicans, like, I'm not talking about the people. I know what the government, Manuel can tell you. Historically, the government wanted certain, and it's just not even the DR. It's Cuba. It's fucking Brazil. It's all throughout Latin America. These countries historically wanted a certain ideology about their countries, the people in power. The people in power, if you look at Brazil, Colombia, Black Colombians and I'm talking about unambiguously Black people are at the fucking bottom of the scale. We can stop.
Everywhere. That's everywhere.
Excuse me,
Everywhere.
because Coach, I'm trying to tell you, is anti-Blackness exists everywhere, and I agree with that. I'm not, but we make this knee-jerk reaction to say that the people. I'm saying the people are waking up to the shit. Stop saying that. Oh, they did no. For the same thing in America, we were blind and ignorant to it. We're just, I always tell everybody, Black Americans, we awoke to the anti-Blackness just simply before everybody else, and everybody else is waking up to it after us. We're not better.
But I'll
we're
say
just
this.
first.
Manuel is an educated Dominican person.
That's
so
true, Rico.
he has learned about his African roots.
I get that, but you're making this knee-jerk reaction that they all have, and I'm sitting there saying is you see the evidence before you every fucking day. So at the end of the day, a Dominican who looks like Nikki is not treated the same way that a Dominican that looks like Manuel. We're not going to play this fucking game.
That's everywhere.
We're not going to play this. Okay, then, but there's a reason for that. So why are we sitting here playing this game like, oh, it's normal? It's not normal.
I talk about it all the time. I talk about I see it all the time.
But what I'm saying is as an American sitting there doing this, John, we're doing a disservice. I'm not telling you to shit on the DR. I'm not. I got a home there. I'm not going to do it. But I will not. What I sit there and think about is this is what I literally think about every day. When I come there, I think about a Dominican person who is I wish I could. I'm not going to show you. I've seen. I go and I give out and I support Dominican and Haitians who look indescribably black, and their fucking experience is far worse than anything we can say on this live stream. And I get offended every time we have these videos and we act like those people don't exist because their experience is different than what you and I and Nikki, we have. When I show up on the island, I don't care how black I am. I got a fucking blue passport. And they look at me differently for that. But if I didn't have that blue passport, they would look at me a different fucking way.
And my heart goes out to those people that don't have
exactly.
Yeah.
And I don't want them minimized with the shit we're saying. That's what I'm saying. We do that.
Let me ask you this, Manuel. Yes. Do you mind telling us what do you put on your census when the census come around?
To be honest, you want me to be honest with you?
Yeah, underrated.
I've never participated in a census.
Okay.
I don't even know what it says.
But race,
honestly, if I tell you my answer, I'll be lying, brother. I've never seen the form. Like, okay, Manuel, what's your name? They never come to my house. So,
Manuel, let me tell you this, Manuel. I've seen the Dominican census. Race is on there.
What
you can put and the races. You can put Asian. You can put white. You can put black. You can put mestizo. You can put mulatto. Yeah. You have your choices. They don't make you pick black. You pick whatever the fuck you want. But what I'm saying, so they even have the mixed race choices, which I think started in Mexico, mestizo, pardo, mulatto, all the different variations. But what's funny about it is like they do the same. Now in the US, you know what's funny? In Puerto Rico, 75% of Puerto Ricans identify as white.
That's true. That's true.
75% of fucking Puerto Ricans identify as fucking white.
And they're not. Most of them are my colors. Right.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I'm saying, guys, and we got to stop playing with
sad, but that's the case.
That's why I didn't want to join this conversation, because when we have these conversations, we fucking play with them. 75% of fucking Puerto Ricans identify as white, even though they're poor, they're abject, they go through all this shit, they look like everybody on this fucking panel.
Rico,
and they say they're white.
I totally agree with you, and I am happy that you joined us because I'm here. I mean, I hear this from someone from the United States that happens to be African American, expressing himself that way with that knowledge and so wise. And I feel really good about it because sometimes Americans, they think, correct me if I'm wrong, they think they are the center of the world and their history happened everywhere around them, and that they think that other countries, they didn't have their own reality and their own history and their own Martin Luther Kings in other countries with other names. Other countries have their battles, not exactly the way you guys did, but in a different whole context. So when you come out to other countries and you see other cultures, you're like, oh, why they don't think like us? Why this? And you start comparing America to the other countries. That's kind of a part of your mind. I don't blame you. But if I'm wrong, please correct me.
No, you're absolutely right. This is the funny thing about it is what moves me so much and I kind of get mad at foreigners. And again, like I said, I get the whole concept when people like, when Dominicans say they're not black, and I'm like, yeah, I don't like when they say it either. And I would never tell them, like, you're not black, you're not African American. Absolutely, you are not that. You have every right to say that you're not that. But the thing is like I've heard somebody have a discussion the other day about racism in Brazil, and they was like, oh no, they were like, I'm like, yes, but see, we're always looking at it from a lens through a American black lens
Perspective, from an American's perspective.
An American
Exactly.
black perspective.
Exactly.
When I always ask them, and here's the thing, right? Even if I sit there and I go to a Dominican journalist and I was like, okay, give me some interviews about racism. What I would watch most of the time about Dominican journalists, right? They will interview somebody who looks like you, Manuel, right? And I'm like, I don't want you to talk to somebody that looks like Manuel. I want you to talk to somebody that looks unambiguously black. And I want to know what their experience is.
What do you mean?
Because Manuel's experience, and I look at your experience, Manuel, your experience, if you were in America, your experience would be as a damn near a borderline light-skinned mixed race black person
over there.
Right. Your experience is not, as we all know, a blue black person. Because a blue black person, we call them midnight black. Their experience, even within the black, literally, what I would tell you this, even among black people in America, blue black people, we call them blue black, midnight black, whatever.
Forgive my ignorance. What is a blue black person?
Blue black
is the first time I hear that.
Right. And that's what I'm trying to describe it. Look at this guy's shirt. Like
someone that looks like Nikki's hair, that color.
Yes.
Okay.
And what I'm trying to tell you is, even in America, a person who looks like the color of Nikki's hair experience is different than yours. You're still more favored in America than a person who grows up the complexion of Nikki's hair. That person will have lesser job opportunities.
Let's remember that there's a similarity here though too, because that's what happens here too.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say.
Oh, wait a minute, you might be Haitian.
Right.
Hold on a minute. So there is a similarity when we're saying that.
And what I'm trying to say is, man, well, even in America, all black people are not treated equally. All black people are not treated equally. In America, black people are treated differently depending on the complexion of your blackness. So if you're
so you're saying that segregation not only happens in between black people, black and white people, but also among
black people.
Among black people, you still have segregation.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Hey,
absolutely.
I want to say something. If you guys go back in history, I'm gonna get technical with you. And Rico probably knows some of this. But when you go back, you look back in Virginia, what's that? Bacon's Rebellion, I believe it is. And you look at what happened back in 1681. They labeled, there was no such thing as white and black. They put the label of black and white. They established that back in 1681. They put the darker skinned people as being black and the Caucasians as being white. Well, technically speaking, let's be honest. There ain't nobody that is black. We are all different shades of brown. Dark brown, light brown, that's the shade. This is black. Nobody is white. This is white. The backside is wall. That's white. Ain't nobody that color. We are different shades of color, of brown skin, of darker skin. But no one, technically speaking, is black. They put that label on us back in 1681 in Virginia. That's what happened. The whole thing got started with that.
I agree with that, but what I'm just sitting there saying is this is the one thing I try to tell people. We all live in the world. We live in the world. So I don't care how I feel. I know that I live in a world where people see me. They see me. I walk out the fucking door. Everybody see me. So whatever complexion I am, as the world says, from pinkish, as he described, not really white, but pinkish, being considered the most favorable, to the color of Nikki hair being the least favorable. Wherever I fall on that
Yes.
spectrum is how the world is going to see me and treat me. So if I come out the door and I'm the complexion of Nikki's hair, I'm going to be treated as the least desirable thing on the planet, because the world has said anything that looks like that is less than.
Let me say
world
this.
has said
Negative.
that.
Let me tell you,
That's
man.
true.
Let me tell you, Manuel, what I think in my head when I'm driving down the street in the Dominican Republic. It's political season now, election, president, presidential, all that stuff. I have never seen, and I see thousands and thousands of billboards. I have never seen one dark-skinned billboard that somebody's running for president or councilman or congressman in the Dominican Republic.
John, doing anything. Doing anything.
Yeah,
Doing
anything.
anything.
So
doing anything.
I can
Doing
push
any fucking thing.
I can push record tomorrow and drive down the interstate and for 5 miles, and I will not see one dark-skinned, brown-skinned picture of somebody route. And so as a
on a
US
billboard,
citizen,
John, but you keep talking about president on a billboard at all, doing
Period.
anything,
Okay, yeah.
selling
Period.
fucking chicken. Period.
You go to, if
I
you
agree.
drive-
I agree with Rico, but in terms of politics, what Rico is saying is true. When it comes to selling stuff, you always see like a light-skinned person or white. When it comes to politics, the president, if you go to our Congress, you will see the majority of them. They are either your color or mine, so they're black. The previous president was also a black person. Now in Santo Domingo, which is where you live, I have to admit it, the majority of the people that are running for important positions in politics are white. But if you come to San Cristobal, you will see this totally different reality. But you are totally right. But in Santo Domingo, that's right. But it's not like there is not black people in power here. If you Google it and you look at our Congress, and how do you call the other, the representative? Is that how you call it?
Yes.
We got senators,
Councilman.
and we have the representative that we call diputados. So I think you call, I don't, what's Nancy Pelosi? What's her charge? What's her position?
She's a congresswoman.
Congresswoman.
So representative.
You got two chambers. You got
the Senate and the House. So
exactly. So we got
representatives and senators.
Exactly. So then both, if you Google it, you will see that the majority of them are not white. But I have to be fair.
Yeah, but
So
if you look, but if you look all throughout Latin America, and again, I'm not even making this shit about the DR. This is all through Latin America. This is all through Asia. Matter of fact, I would. The only exception is Africa because they have so few white people. But if Africa had more white people, all of them would be in charge. Literally, it is. Matter of fact, as a matter of fact, to prove it, they were all in charge in South Africa until they kicked them out. But literally, it is a global thing. It is a worldwide phenomenon where white ice is colder and anti-Blackness is just looked at as less than. And for us to sit here and to be educated in 2024 and to act like that's not a real thing.
And I have to say something, Rico, before I forget. Additional to what you're saying, the world has sold the idea to all of us that being white and blue eyes is beautiful. And that's what you always see on TV, someone white with blue eyes and some nice hair. And we have believed that idea. That's beauty. And that's why marketing is centralized in white with blue eyes and green eyes. And
people look at me and they say, man, he's probably the most beautiful thing.
Yeah.
No, they don't. But
so that's why I respect so much. That's why I respect so much Denzel Washington and those people that they made it in Hollywood. When always the main character was always white with blue eyes and something like that. So
and Manuel, thank you for saying that because that's exactly what the point, which is what I'm trying to make, is that's what the overall global worldwide. It's not a Dominican thing. The Dominicans suffer from it. It's the same as everywhere else, but it's a global thing. And the thing is what I always say is this, and I'll try to tell Coach, Nicole, myself, and anybody else. Just because we see some Black people succeed doesn't mean it's been defeated. It just like you said, you have Black congressmen in the DR. It doesn't mean that y'all have defeated white supremacy. It just means some people have succeeded in spite of it. It doesn't mean it's over, because if you have to start to look at things systemically and say, until I see system wide where things are more balanced, then it's not balanced. Because
Let
if
me
I
ask you
still
this.
see
And
systemically wide
that's a great
that
point,
dark
Rico.
skinned people are treated less than, it's not fixed.
Let me ask you this, and since Manuel is on here, we always love having you on there. Why do you think that you all think about Christopher Columbus one way, and then we think about Christopher Columbus the other way?
We don't love Christopher Columbus. That house that you see in the Colonial Zone was built by his son. And if I was the president, I would have demolished it already. But the country makes money with that shit. That's a touristic place. Thousands and thousands and thousands of tourists, they come. And that's why I believe that that circus is still on. Because that's a tourist attraction and people come from all over the world to take photos. But it's not like we love Christopher Columbus. No, people.
Okay.
If you ask a Dominican, who's Christopher Columbus, is gonna ignorantly say like, "Oh, he discovered America," but it's not like we worship him.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I
Man,
know,
well,
like, whenever I go down to the Colonial Zone, I'm down there. I tell the people right there. I tell them historical facts. I be straight up with them. I said, I mean, he came here, but it's not like what you guys think he is. He got colonized and took over the people who was already here, the original peoples in the
Exactly.
No, I don't. For me personally,
come on.
You're right, Carl. But me personally, I don't see any problem with I want it to stay up. I want the statue to stay there because it's part of the history.
No, I think it's because, John, you know why? See again, radio.
You can kiss my ass, Rico. You can kiss my ass.
For it to stay up, you know what? Then you know what it is. You the same nigga that say that Confederate statues should stay up. That's part of it.
I didn't say that. Okay. That's totally different. So that's totally different.
So
yeah.
Let me tell you.
So that's totally different. It's actually different, yes.
So
that's totally different. I would never say that. I don't want any type of rebel flags or anything going up. But Christopher Columbus, they landed here. His history is here. And I don't have any problem with it. But I don't want people to make it look like he's the Jesus Christ and the savior of everything. That's what I don't
he's
like.
not. He's not.
He's not.
That
He's
shit need to be torn. That shit need to be torn down the same way the Confederate statues need to be torn down.
No.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
And we can agree to disagree.
Let me tell you why.
Why would you tear something down that when they landed over here and they built a lot of shit over here, and this is the history. This is history.
Then why should we tear down the statue of Nate Bedford Forrest, who was the founder of the Ku Klux Klan that fucking ran Tennessee, that was lynching you, nigga? Because that was part of fucking history.
The same reason the Nazis don't fly their flag and all that shit because they lost.
Then why the fuck did we tear down the Klan statues? Because goddamn, it's part of history.
Guys,
because it's not correct. It's
guys,
and history says we choose to no longer honor those people. They are not heroes.
I didn't say they was heroes. It's history.
Okay. Hold on, guys. Just a moment. We have comments from 7:39. It is now like 8:40 something or something like that. 8:43. So can we get through a couple of those messages and get our ADD and our ADHD under control, because this conversation has gone away from Haitians and on to other things. So I'm here to try to moderate right now and get us back on track. So quickly, let me read some of these because we still have viewers. They've hung on with us. Thank you guys for doing that. Rico, you're making great points. I am in agreement with majority of what you said and everyone else, but let me read some of these comments, please. Someone had asked, the person who did a $5, let me go right here. 3CP did, do you speak Louisiana Creole? I think they're asking that to you, John.
I already answered that question.
Okay. And then what about this one? It's an attempt to add the conversation. Have we talked about that as well?
Yes, we talked about that. Yes.
Someone says, what is Nikki? Who needs to be muted?
Somebody has
I
static.
got it. It was Manuel. Okay. What is Nikki's correct name? It's with 1K. I don't know how we keep getting it effed up. So it's Niki. It's only 1K. Okay. Niki.
Check the dictionary.
Sir, I made my own name. Thank you. Carl says the situation in Texas is still developing. Stay tuned. I think we already spoke about that. Mamijo says, great topic, John and Nikki. Jay, greetings from Curacao. So someone greeted you, Jay, from Curacao. Thank you for that. Yes. DJ Bean Loco says, don't you feel the Haitians have some responsibility to fix our country? That's a great comment. We'll double back on that. Let's put a pin on that. Well, actually, I'll put that one on a star. DMR says, I made a grammatical error. If you let me explain, I can. I think that was probably about my name or something. I don't know. Carl said, it's everywhere in the world. John, you're right. All light in front and black in the back. That is correct. Queen Status says, I was asking about Haitians trying to enter America and being chased away by Border Patrol with whips versus Haitians and how they are treated here and also deported back to Haiti by the Dominican Republic, Republican police. Yeah. That's another great point. Yavin or Javin Moore. I wonder if any of you both seen a dark-skinned Dominican and thought they were Haitian in Dominican Republic all the time.
Right.
Kids
hey,
travel.
Nikki, I'm sorry. Let's go back to that question. So we can have, and then we'll come back to that. Let's go and let Manuel answer that question.
Okay, which question are we talking about?
That one about do you think Haitians should be getting things together or helping the Dominican Republic or something like that?
I know what you're talking about. Okay, I'll go back to that. What is that?
And I think Manuel might have been ready to answer that question.
Yeah, I bet he was.
Take it off of mute, Manuel, so you can go ahead.
Oh, I've got to unmute him. Sorry, boo-boo. There you go.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Can you hear me now?
You muted me, so that's discrimination, right? I'm just
That's it.
Hey, can I?
Haiti is a free country. Haiti is a free country.
Well, Manuel, can I ask you a question?
Uh-huh.
I want to ask you a question. Okay, as the only true Dominican on the panel, okay, because I ain't talking to these two fake ass Dominicans to the right of you, okay, because they fake Dominicans, right? But I wanted to speak to as a true Dominican born and raised in the DR, right?
Yes.
Now, I know a little bit about Dominican history. How do you feel about I want you to tell me what your perspective is on the denaturalization when the Supreme Court, and I believe it was 2013, correct me if I'm wrong, on what year, where they denaturalized.
I disagree.
How do you feel about it?
Yeah, if you're born, this is the way I see it. If you're born in a country, you are from that country.
Okay.
That's your main nationality. Then if you want to have both nationality, like your father's, then you can have it. But I always disagree with if you are from Venezuela and you're born in the Dominican Republic, then you are not Dominican, you're from Venezuela. Or if you're Haitian and you're born in the Dominican Republic, you're Haitian. totally disagree with that.
Okay. So can you at least, so for the audience, and that's where, see, and that's where I landed was, can you give the audience I guess from your understanding, your belief on, because I think like a lot of the audience doesn't realize like what happened in 2013 in the DR. And if you could give them a brief history, I know Coach don't know, and maybe Nikki doesn't know, like what happened with all the big hubbub in the DR. I think it's 2013, correct? Am I correct about
No,
that?
you're correct. You're
Okay.
correct. So this is
About
how
what
it started.
happened. Okay.
This is how it started. So you know that you have a lot of Haitian women crossing the border to give birth in the Dominican Republic. In the hospitals in at the border, we have multiple hospitals, and they cross the border to give birth in the Dominican Republic. So I have been in Haiti twice before and after the earthquake, but I have been there less as a tourist. I don't know the reality, like to tell you, oh, there are no hospitals in Haiti. No, I'm not gonna say that because I don't know, but I see thousands of women crossing the border to give birth. Is because they probably don't have access to that in Haiti. That's what I think. So the government, we're seeing that thousands of Haiti women from Haiti that were crossing the border with no papers because access to health is an international right. So they let them through, all the women, to give birth in the Dominican Republic. At the time of the birth certificate, they were putting Dominican. Now that was the discussion, and they created that law like to control that. That was the origin of it. So if you're born in the Dominican Republic, you're not Dominican. You got to go through a process and blah blah blah, which I disagree. If you're born here,
Manuel, can I? I just want to interject a little bit.
Yeah.
Because even and I hear in the way you're describing it is completely accurate. But I think there's a large part that's left out, because and what I want to say is that for years the Dominican side at one point, even after the independence of Haiti and the DR, independence from Spain and so forth, for years I think during the sugarcane industry, they were recruiting a lot of Haitian agriculture workers to come over to DR to work in sugarcane fields and in agriculture. So they were and we're talking about, we're going nearly 100 years back, because when they did this law, they went nearly 100 years back. So
you're right.
They were asking people to come, and multiple generations of people were being born because they were working in the fields.
And these people are still here.
Industry.
They're still here. They're claiming the government. They protest multiple times in the year.
I just
you have. That's all. Yeah, you have. It's not like 100 Haitians. You have thousands of them, people that they came here to work in the sugarcane industry, labor immigrants, and these people are already old, like elderly people protesting for their naturalization. Yeah, you're totally right. Thank you for bringing that up. Totally right. Yeah. And they actually, that protest they have spoken to the previous presidents, but no one does anything. Yep. And here we come to the same thing. They are poor people.
Right.
They are all black people. Well, we were talking earlier that if you are like Nikki's color, you are. I'm sorry, Nikki's hair color.
Yep.
Yes, Nikki's hair color. Sorry, Nikki's hair color. Then your possibilities of success are limited.
Right, and that was the reason why, Manuel, that point that stuck to me was because when I started seeing the history, like I said, from 2013, they made the law retroactively go back 80 years, 80. So that meant, like, for me, when I thought 80 years, you're talking about 4 generations back to say that if you were not born of a Dominican parent from 80 years back, that you could not be deemed Dominican.
Yeah.
That so even though the government, even though the Dominican government went to Haiti and said, send your people over here to work. So that means your grandparents and your great grandparents who they asked to come over, even if they weren't Dominican, the fact that your grandparents was born in the DR and never lived anywhere else, and your parents were born in the DR and never lived anywhere else, and you were born in the DR and never lived anywhere else, unless you could go back more than 80 years, you weren't Dominican. And then here's the thing: is it made you stateless because Haiti didn't claim you because you were never living there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So what it created was all these hundreds of thousands of people who here, I think in the Bate.
Bate, the Bate, yeah, Bate. Okay, yeah, let me help you there.
Go ahead. Thank you.
Bate is, to translate it in Spanish, is like a village of Haitians. We call them Bate. If you have like a village, like a community of Haitians, like a neighborhood of Haitians, they're called Bate. So every small like villages are called Bate, and we have them in San Pedro de Macorís, which is one of the places where you see the most of these people that you're mentioning. This area was the biggest one producing sugar cane.
Mm-hmm.
Continue,
Thank
Rico.
you.
And
Thank
you got people that never been in Haiti. They
Nope.
speak the language. They speak the language because their parents taught them. But people that never been in Haiti and they still they got no papers because of that law. You're totally right.
Thank you.
I have a question. If I was Dominican and I saw some illegal Haitians, could I call a phone number and say, hey, I know where a whole bunch of illegal Haitians are. Can y'all go pick them up and take them back across the border?
Yeah, you see Haitians here everywhere. There is a Bate like 100 meters from my house. These people live there in peace. No Dominicans are gonna call to the what do you call it? The immigration services.
Right.
We have because that would be useless. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
nothing is gonna happen. They are gonna be here next week. They are gonna cross the border again.
I have seen quite a few times in San Cristobal when I lived near you. I've watched Haitians run and hide.
Yeah, I've seen it.
And when the police come and they take off and they go behind the building and hide behind the building until the police go by. Have you ever seen that before?
Yes, we have. My friend here, he knows about it. It's not 365, 300, and it's not the whole year that the immigration services are chasing Haitians. But you have seasons where they do it on a hard way. But it's not like a Haitian is walking in the street and a police. But you see we have two types of police. You got the one that is wearing the gray uniform. The gray uniform, that's the one in the streets. And then you have the immigration services. When these people are on the street, that's where the heat, when you feel the heat.
Right.
But what I think the problem is,
Go ahead, Rico.
I think the problem is again, I don't like when we sit there and we have these discussions and we talk about these anecdotal episodes. Like basically, I could talk about all the anecdotal episodes, whether a Dominican or a Haitian or a Mexican or whatever is behaving a certain way, and don't look at systemic. And again, I try to make sure that these conversations are had in a way where, again, like I said, when I talk about what happened in 2013, which I think is the biggest nexus for some of the even more so. I understand what's going on at the border today, but I look at 2013 as the biggest issue between the DR and Haiti. I think that if that had never happened, I think some of the issues would be a lot less than what they are. I'm not saying it would be perfect. I think it would be a problem, but I think it would be better
Rico,
resolved.
that there is a political interest in keeping us separated and making the world believe that the Dominicans are killing Haitians, and that chaos in Haiti benefits some certain political groups in Haiti. So what I don't was so that chaos is like, we don't want things to be normal. We need that chaos so we can keep what what I disagree sometimes, not with you, Rico, because you are very objective. What I disagree sometimes when I see U.S. news is like, and my friend, my brother from Haiti here can and correct me if I'm wrong. It's like the world blames Dominican Republic for everything that happens in Haiti. It's like the responsibility of Haiti as a country is on the Dominican shoulders.
Right.
That's a free country. It's the first
Right.
free country besides the United States in America. They have their political system. The president got murdered, killed a couple of years ago. So don't you think, Rico? And this is me being honest, because and I know this. I know this because my ex-girlfriend, she used to work at the immigration services, and this is what she told me. The problem is that the majority of the people that we detain, these people doesn't even have paper from their own country, like a birth certificate, nothing. So we don't know who we are. We don't have idea how this person is. There's nothing. So,
you know why?
I'm sorry.
You know why?
Do you
Why,
really
sir?
know what?
Yeah, let me hear the brother here.
Sure.
Yeah, I want to learn.
The reason why you're not able to identify a single Haitian person is because how everything is so up to date over here. They don't have that over there. There's a documentary of a guy from England who traveled all the way from England to go to Haiti to see how the prison's security system is. By default, they prosecuted a Haitian man for murder. Where's the evidence? There's no evidence. So by default, in Haiti, he has to serve life. Because
that happened in Haiti?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Because they don't have all the evidence. And then on top of that, everything is all by paper. Yeah. You got to search people's names in order just to find out, okay, this person is this. Not everybody's.
Let me suggest an idea. And this is just my belief, and I could be wrong. Call me a conspiracy theorist or whatever. But I genuinely believe that on both sides of the border, on the Haitian side and the Dominican side, one thing that's definitively clear is both countries have a power structure at the very top, a top 10% or 5%. There's a top 5% in Haiti that exists, that's thriving and doing well, irregardless of what's going on in the rest.
And they don't live in Haiti. Those people that you mentioned, they don't live in Haiti. You have a lot of people living in the Dominican Republic as kings and queens.
Right, absolutely. And I agree that top echelon of the Haitian political class or power class, wherever they live, it's that top 5 to 10% that claim Haitian citizenship. There's that top 5 to 10% of the Dominican class. I think they both thrive off of the dysfunction. What does the dysfunction between the two countries do? It incurs continuous influx of cash, money, and influence from outside of both countries. Because at the end of the day, if I'm at the top 5% of the DR or Haiti, I'm not getting rich off of our country. I'm getting rich off of outsiders. So keep it, if for whatever reason, if the DR and Haiti could settle their differences and all of a sudden not unite and become one country, but unite and all its disputes, and all of a sudden both countries were thriving, guess what? The rich can't get rich unless the poor are fighting. And if I can't get you motherfuckers to fight each other, if I can keep y'all fighting each other, same thing in the Middle East. You know, people in the Middle East, they're not getting rich off of oil. They're getting rich off of selling oil to people who are not even in the Middle East. They're getting rich off of America, Europe, China, places outside. So you keep turmoil going where you are, and you sit there and you get outsiders to continue to feed resources into your ship. They don't want it to resolve. They don't. There's no money to be made in peace. Money's only made in war.
You boring him. You talking too much, Rico.
I'm just telling you the truth.
You know the
Nobody wanna hear
Clinton,
that. You're doing
Rico.
too
You know
much.
the Clintons. They have a lot of investments in Haiti, right? Hillary
Sure,
and her husband. So
sure.
yeah, America.
Money's made in war, not in peace.
Exactly, man. Exactly. But what I was saying is just to conclude this line of the topic is that it's kind of difficult when you find a majority of Haitians in here, illegal Haitians. That's what I'm saying.
But it's not
Every every let me ask you something, brother. I mean, every Dominican has a cédula. Cédula is our ID. That's like your driver's license in the United States. That's your identification, Rico. That's what I'm saying, right? You understand? Cédula. So let me ask you this. When you go to Haiti, let's say like an average normal Haitian in Haiti, do the majority of the Haitians they have some kind of a identification
No,
that they can show someone?
no, they don't have shit.
Yeah,
It's a
that's
failed state.
yeah, that's a
It's
problem.
a failed state. In Haiti. Yeah.
And whose fault is it, Rico? In your opinion, whose
Haiti.
fault is it?
It's Haiti. It's the Haitian government.
Well, here's the thing.
It's the Haitian government, not the Haiti people.
It's not
the government.
Wait, hold on now. It's not because of Haiti, because let's not forget, Haiti had to pay a large sum of money back to the Frenchmen because
I don't dispute
they were proclaiming that we were the ones that stole all their goods, all their entities, all the artifacts. And I said, and I've always asked this to those who grew up inside of Haiti, why the hell did we do that? What to gain? If we gained our independence, let's not forget, the Frenchmen were the ones that took everything that was taken away from Haitians, let alone the Spaniards.
Sir, I'm gonna tell you why you didn't do it. You didn't do it because you didn't owe it. Haitian people never owed that to the French. They never owed it. They did.
They never did, and
they never owed it. Right. So, but what I'm saying
all that
is,
money.
Right, but listen, what I'm saying.
Didn't have to get paid back. If they didn't have paid that money back,
right? No. All I'm saying is this is what I'm saying. They should have. This is what I'm saying. They should have never paid what they paid. They never owed anything.
No, I agree.
Right. But
they
what
said
I'm saying
the rule was say the whole thing, Rico. Die or pay the debt. Or pay the debt.
No. But I'm not saying what they said. They never should have paid it because they never owed it. You don't owe someone for your freedom.
Well, they was going to get wiped out. They was going to be wiped out and killed. They was going to be killed.
You don't. You do not owe a debt for your freedom. It's an oxymoron.
I agree with that.
Freedom is only paid with your life. That's it. That's the only way you pay for your freedom is your life.
Well,
you don't pay for it.
The French scared the shit out of them. The French scared the shit out of them because they paid.
John, let me answer that question. I wanted to ask Manuel, do you see any similarities in Dominican? I went to Panama. I've been to Panama. And when I went to Panama, I thought I was in Dominican Republic. It's the same. The food, the weather, people, we look all the same. I thought I was in the Dominican Republic when I went to Panama. Awesome. Panama is the exact same like Dominican Republic. The only difference is that their currency is dollars. That's the only difference.
I only want to tell a young man was that what I'm sitting there saying is when Manuel asked about Haiti was when I sit there and say it's a failed state, I'm talking about in 2024. The government, irregardless of its past debt, it's a failed state today. So we don't have to go back to the French. You go back to Papa Doc. Okay, you may not be old enough to remember Papa Doc Sr. and Papa Doc Jr., the dictators of Haiti before. Okay, so it's been a failed state for a long fucking time outside of the debt to France. And I'm saying I don't blame the Haitian people, but the government got to get its shit together. So I don't blame the DR for that. I'm like, I don't know if it needs to be the military needs to take over. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if it's a coup. I don't give a fuck whatever it is. It needs to become an organized government that's a government. The gangs can't be running rampant. And I don't blame Dominican people for the state that it's in. Haiti needs to fix itself. And that's a fucking fact.
Well, why do you think? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was just I wanted to ask Manuel while this was on my mind. Who is in the wrong for this river that the Haitians and the Dominicans are fighting over, and what's going on with it? And are the Dominicans trying to be just
Haitians,
kind of
here's my opinion: Haitians have the right to take that water. That's in their territory. That water,
why
I mean, the river the river that they're trying to take goes into their territory. I mean, it's both. I mean, it comes through the Dominican Republic, then it goes through Haiti, like this. It makes like a curve of a couple of kilometers, and what they're doing is in their territory. Now, what the Dominican government says, according to them, is that if they do it, it'll dry off the river on the southern part of the Dominican Republic. So the
Before it comes back into
agriculture,
the
yeah,
yard.
the agriculture in that area is going to be affected if they do it that way.
They
Now,
won't get
here is, so they do have the right to do it, but
Mhm.
according to the government, the way they are doing it is not the right way to do it. That's the thing.
Well, I was going to say that um,
But I'm not an expert in rivers, so
I'm agreeing. I'm going to agree with Manuel because it is on the territory of Haiti. Now, the thing is, where the government of Dominican Republic failed to realize that the agriculture is going to suffer because of the fact that all this water is not only is it just there, but it also helped crop some of the things that Dominican Republic was lacking. Now you take that away. What about the other businesses? What about the other farms that they were trying to provide for other stores? Now you lack that. So now you're going to try to get some type of aid from another country so that they can provide it for you. Why do that when knowing that you could actually you can side with the other country, but yet you decide you want to be selfish and worry about your own self, but yet you're not also helping the other Dominicans within that area who live in the campo. You don't care about them. You care more so of the middle class, the rich side. You don't care about the lower class because if you look at it this way. Let's say, for example, Dajabon. Dajabon is nowhere near as good as Bonao. And it's nowhere near as good as places that are like Barahona or Bajos de Aina. How I know this is because, one, I've been studying this for a while, and I've always mentioned this to a lot of the Dominican people that are from these areas. Why don't you guys do something about it rather than blaming or pointing the finger at the Haitians? Haitians didn't put you on property. Your own government did. Stop pointing the finger at the Haitians because you guys can fix your own problems. But rather than fixing your own problems, you continue and precisely point the finger at the Haitians. Oh, Haitians did this. The canal was supposed to be built 20 years ago. Reason why the Haitians didn't do that is because they cared too much because they saw other parts of the Dominican Republic in poverty. So why would they go ahead and do that? Now, it was feasible if they did it 20 years ago, but now, 20 years later, what makes you think that the president of the Dominican Republic would have just said, you know what, we actually need that. So let's break the canal so that we can regrow this agriculture. Farmers would have been happy. Am I not right? Farmers would have been happy. The people that were actually making the crops, the carrots, the tomatoes, everything, they would have been excited to know that, okay, you know what? This is what we should agree on. And I'm agreeing with the other gentleman that was speaking about it, saying that we should be on both sides, but it's not going to happen that way.
yeah, I totally agree with you. I have nothing to say against what you're saying. I totally agree, but just don't take it against the political elites in both countries. Don't take it against like the regular Dominican person that is waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go to work. These people, they don't care about it. This is a political issue more than a people's issue. Yeah, it's a political issue. They want to make it look like Haitians and Dominicans, they hate each other. but you know that's not the case. The case here is a political situation, and the elite in Haiti, I'm sorry, is making money out of this chaos. Now, let me ask you this. Be honest. Is there a government in Haiti at this moment, like someone to go and talk to and negotiate?
No, because even the prime minister he's even out of office. They
Exactly.
They have an interim prime minister, but she's not doing anything. She can't even. He doesn't even have a say so.
So we get worse. I mean, it's get worse. Yeah, I agree, man.
Hey, can I say something?
Yes,
Go
sir.
ahead.
Okay, I was in public with my son.
You're breaking up. You're breaking up a little bit.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let me try and set this up. So I came to DR December 6th and I left January 7th, right? With me and my son. And my son is slightly autistic. I was hanging out with John 2 or 3 times with another friend. So it was an Olay supermarket not too far from where I was at. And I just had the liberty of just walking back and forth. And on this particular day, I had my son with me. We were walking back, right, back to our Airbnb. And all of a sudden, these 2 cops, I mean, it just stunned me by surprise. They just jumped off the motor. We were just walking, jumped off the motorcycle, and they started just saying something in Spanish really fast. I only know enough Spanish to get me by. But he just jumped up. He said, da, 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 da. He just started pointing. I was like, hey, man, what's going on? We had our bags. And my son, I had to calm him down because that's my son right there. He has autism. And when he sees things are out of order for him, he just starts to, and I had to calm my son down. I said, hey, it's the police. You know, everything is okay. They want to see if, we okay. I said, hey, man, what's going on? What's the problem? I said, and I pointed, and I said, we're going to the Airbnb. I said, I said, what happened? And I remember a friend told me, anytime the police stop you, do not, under no circumstances, speak Spanish. Because if they know you know a little bit of Spanish, then that goes into other things, And I said, and I heard the other guy behind him. I didn't catch everything, but I caught enough of him. He said, hey, leave them alone. They're Americans. He doesn't understand what you're saying anyway. And the guy that was there, he was angry, man. I don't know why, but he was angry. And I said, hey, man, what happened? What's going on? That's all I kept saying. I said, what happened, man? I said, hey, man, we're going to the Airbnb. And then they backed off, I didn't even, and at that point, I was ready to pull out my passport to show them, hey, man, we're Americans, what's going on? And in all of that little bit of time with that excitement going on, I asked my son, is he okay? Is he all right? And as I looked back up, I seen him jump right, but I noticed this truck behind them. This was Christmas Eve, right?
I think so.
It was around Christmas Eve. We people were just getting all their things, getting ready the next day. Well, for us, it was Christmas. I know you guys' times is a little different, but people were just in the supermarket because the next day they were going to shut down everything. And so people were just going to Olay supermarket to get their last, get all their last items before they shut down. Anyway, so I looked up and I seen people in the back handcuffed to this truck. And I was like, yo, what the hell is going on? I had no idea that was an immigration. I called John and I let John know. I said, hey, man.
I remember that. Yeah.
They
do. But the thing is, I'll say this. We are so used to, why did you pull me over? In the United States, Manuel, you've never been to the United States, but the first question is like, hey, man, I didn't do nothing wrong. Was I speeding? What did I do wrong? So we're not used to somebody just pulling us over and trying to talk to us. And sometimes it happened with black and white, but for the most part, we don't have that. So
they thought I was just walking, minding my business. I had my girl and 2 blacks. Son had the bag, and he just had to. I had to calm my down. I know he was going to start freaking out, man, and that just Like,
Manuel, do you think that's fair for someone to do that?
Oh, trust me. That's happens with me.
can't hear you, man. Your audio.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what you went through, that's an unfortunate inconvenience. And in the name of the Dominican Republic, I want to apologize. That's
No,
not fair. Yeah, but I don't want you to take that impression of like the whole country. But
no,
yeah.
by no means, because I met some incredible people. I did a lot of walking around, and I just was meeting so many nice people. I was on the Guagua. I took the poppy little vehicles and stuff like that. I mean, we went to Hagoy. I mean,
Yeah, I know you probably have noticed that Dominicans are very friendly.
yeah,
And they always try to talk to you.
yeah.
But the government is trying to reform the police. Our police is, most of them, not all of them, but most of them, uneducated, underpaid. And this is the type of things that could happen to someone, especially.
I told a New York, a Dominican friend, because I'm from New York City. I told a Dominican friend in New York City, and the one that was angry, he was upset because he couldn't get in. He said, one, he probably was upset they couldn't grab you because you and your son were American. They thought you was easy picking because it seemed like they were just picking people off the street, just like and they had handcuffed.
Yeah.
They had them handcuffed above the.
Yeah.
Hey, Manuel, before we're gonna do the final thoughts and everything. Black Crypto, your microphone is going in and out real bad. But
Haitian gunman, he said, Manuel, no Haitians blame Dominicans for their country's problem. No. When I say Haitians, I'm talking about the political elite, and on the news and everywhere. I will never refer to the regular people. I mean, there's nothing going on the regular Haitian that wakes up every day and go to the construction place to work, or the Dominican regular man that wakes up in the morning and go to work, go to school. The most of the things that I say, I'm talking about the political elite. These people that try to create chaos and they don't fix the country, but they just want to fight and you know.
Right. Hey, shout out to Haitian Gunman for always being a part of the channel from day one, always supporting the channel. Everybody on here, thank y'all so much for supporting. We're gonna have our final thoughts and everything. I'm gonna go ahead and start with Rico, because Manuel, thank you so much for your time, brother.
I was supposed to go. I was supposed to meet you tomorrow, but I said, okay, let me just join the live today. So, because it's better like that. This way, we have more opinions. We have people like Rico. We have people like my friend there, the Haitian man that was there. I don't know his name. Sorry, Jay. We have opinions of everywhere, and I like that. And now we have this experience that this gentleman suffered in the Dominican Republic, something that should have never happened in the first place.
I believe that it's what you wear also. I believe Haitians wear certain clothes and it kind of stands out, because I've never had that problem. But
John, you
say
look
again.
You look Dominican. We all can agree to that.
You definitely look Dominican.
You think I look, Manuel? Do I look Dominican?
You look like an average Dominican man, just like my man here. I don't know what happened with you, sir, but you just look like my uncle.
Listen,
yeah, like you.
I was wearing my New York ball cap, a Nike T-shirt.
You just look like any other Dominican there. Yeah, I don't know what happened.
And some Nike Air Max, and that little bag you wear across with your money. It had all my passport information.
Yeah, so yeah, he didn't tell you the rest of it. He was holding hands. He was holding hands with a Dominican woman. So a Haitian woman. That's what did it.
Ah, man.
No, I'm just playing. Hey, final thoughts. Rico, you still there? Because I'm about to hang up on you.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Go ahead, Rico.
Apologies for coming late to the conversation. and I hate to end it with a burn, but I'm just gonna call out the abject bullshit that I've been hearing. Again, I think that you guys choose the conversation to make it about Dominicans and Haitians,
Yeah.
and I think that in the conversation we're leaving out what the elephant in the room is. It's an issue of anti-Blackness, and I'm not saying it's a Dominican thing. I'm saying it's a global thing. Okay. Now, and again, when every time we have these conversations, when you can talk to anybody anywhere and you say Dominican and Haitian, they'll be like, "Oh, you said we're anti-Black." I'm like, I tell Dominicans, I'm not saying that y'all are anti-Black. I'm saying y'all, Brazil, Colombia, America, Canada, Europe. I'm like, all you motherfuckers are anti-Black. It just is. And unfortunately, Haiti is the representation of Blackness. And we can all sit here and we can pretend and play these fucking games, which I find to be highly disrespectful, that that's what we're doing. And I expect it better from here because we're pretending like that's not the fucking elephant in the room when it is.
I don't
Okay.
think
And nope.
Everybody agrees.
Is it my final thoughts or yours? These are my final thoughts. And my final thoughts is that at the end of the fucking day, and again, it's not just a Dominican thing, it's everywhere. If y'all don't want to say it, don't say it, but I'm going to say it. It is an anti-Black element. And again, as a not unambiguously, as a not dark-skinned Black American, I know that a purely Black American experience is significantly worse than mine. And for me to pretend like it's not is bullshit. So I think a fucking Dominican to say is bullshit. A Brazilian to say is bullshit. A Colombian to say is bullshit. And I'm not going to sit here and play these fucking games with nobody on this channel or anywhere else and pretend like, oh, it's the fucking same, because it's not in America. So I'm not going to go to the fucking DR and pretend like, oh, they treat all Black people the same, because they fucking don't. Because they don't in America, and they don't in Brazil, and they don't in Colombia, and they don't in Thailand, and they don't any fucking where else. So y'all can keep on with that bullshit if you want to. In 2024, I am old enough, and we are better than this.
Right. Yeah, but John, it's John's fault, right? It's John's fault. He's always trying to make it look Dominican, right? I'm just kidding.
It's our fault for not educating, and I'm not blaming us. Like, I don't walk around with a cross to beard like dark-skinned people are treated worse. I'm just saying I'm not going to pretend like it doesn't exist. That's all I'm saying. I don't feel any guilt that I wasn't dark. I don't feel any guilt for it, but I'm not going to pretend like those people don't have a disadvantage that I don't have. That's all I'm asking us to do, is to have empathy for people outside of ourselves.
That's huge.
That's big.
It. That's big.
All right. Well, Rico, it's the last couple of moments, the last couple of hours. Thank you so much. And you know how to get smart. No, but you're absolutely right. And the bottom line, too, I will say this. I feel like we did touch a bit on that, though, Rico. I do think that there was some accountability taken. I can't agree that there was no accountability taken. And I appreciate that we did have an actual Haitian here to talk about it and to share his points, his point of view. And I love the fact that Manuel came on here and they both were somewhat in agreement with what he said. But I'm going to go ahead and do my last little minutes to get out of here, guys. Thank you all for being here today. Today was an amazing show, I think. I think we touched on some stuff that it is tough. It's sticky. You know what I mean? It's not a fun, funny show or subject to talk about. And I think that it's going to take more than just 1 2 hour and 30-minute show. I mean, it's not cut and dry in that way. And we can touch on it again, and perhaps the subject will be a little bit different. It looks like maybe one of you guys want to ask me something or say something. I don't know, Manuel.
Yeah, please don't make this live every Sunday about race and about racism and about the same topic. because we have in the Dominican Republic, you have a lot of other things to talk about, beautiful things to talk about, um, and don't become CNN always talking about, So I'm
Our
really
pop.
glad. Yeah, I'm really glad to be here. We had the your friend from Haiti. You have Manuel from the Dominican Republic. You have Rico.
He's here to,
Yeah,
he's say goodbye.
thank you, man, thank you, brother, for teaching
Hey,
us.
not a
Yeah,
problem, man.
yeah. So our conversations will never be me against you, never ever. It'll always gonna be criticizing the political decisions that our idiots presidents do. Yeah, so we're all
Hey,
brothers
real
here.
quick. Hey, Rico, hold on. Haitian gunman. You always sending super chats. Thank you so much, brother. But you are wrong. We had 3 other super chats before you. But thank you so much for your 4.99 super
Sir,
chat, brother.
please come back to the Dominican Republic. Don't let that experience to block you from coming here.
I'm going to show him a good time tonight. Trust me. I'm taking him down to the strip. We're going to have a blast. Also, really quickly, you guys, there are still 35 of you in here tonight. Please remember that we do now have the join button. And when you join your donations and you being a member, that money goes towards what we're doing at the orphanage, which I can't wait for you guys to see the footage of. Oh, yes, Manuel. I went to the orphanage today. I will send you some little DMs so that you can see. I had so much fun. Of course, some of them wanted me to what is it? What's
Adopt
the
them.
Adopt them. Yes. And I was like, oh, I want to, and I might once I get my money together, because I don't have kids. Anyways, thank you, RA. Wow, look at that super freaking chat. $20, RA. Wow. Thank you.
Carl just donated $10. Carl, thank you so much, Carl. Thank you, brother.
Did you see the one from RA for $20?
No, let me send.
I put it up. It's on the screen. Wow. Guys.
Hey, let me say this real quick. You are doing great, Nikki. But yes, RA, thank you so much for the super chat. We pay everybody on here. We pay Nikki and Manuel. I hope you got. So we need as much donations that we can get. This money doesn't go into my pocket or me and Dominga buying tequila and beer and stuff like that. It helps out with Soul, Manuel, Nikki, into t-shirts. And
y'all notice who that cockeyed motherfucker didn't name? He didn't name Rico. I don't get paid.
No,
but by the way, also, it's better if you do the cash app.
So make sure y'all. So I'm gonna talk my shit because I don't get paid.
It's better that you donate to the cash app because.
But we will take a donation. It's fine. And hey, one more thing before you guys get off. With the join button and the membership button, Rico, listen to this. This is awesome. This is what I love. Manuel, we can show how much money we pulled in to pay, and we can screenshot it and show because they keep track of all the money we pulled in. If you guys hit that join button and that membership button, it really helps out tremendously. And we'll send shout outs to you every single month.
So let me just say this to all you butt hurts who be saying, Coach John, you need to fire Rico. That motherfucker ain't paying me, so it ain't gonna hurt.
Hey, Rico has been with me from day one. He's helped me out.
He ain't paying me, so he can't fire me.
Shut up and let me give you your kudos real quick.
You can't fire a motherfucker you're not paying.
Put him on mute while I give him kudos real quick. Thank you. Yeah. Hey, Manuel. Hey, I love all y'all. We're gonna go ahead and go down. Hey, Black Crypto, thanks so much for staying on, brother. You got anything to say real quick? Because we gotta go.
And you all know that was my 4th trip. I went for.
Yeah, breaking up again.
Hey, y'all take care. It's real bad. Yeah. So, hey, thanks so much, brother. You take care. Okay. I'll see you soon, Manuel.
Yeah, I'll see you soon, brother. Take care. Nikki, besote. Bye.
Un besote. Bye. Mwah.
Nikki, great job.